It might be quite a difficult team to pick for Jurgen Klopp this weekend. Has it been a difficult team for Dominic Matteo to pick for the game against Crystal Palace? Notice at centre-back there, Matip's had probably a period of 10 days training now, so it's good enough to get in your team at the heart of Liverpool's defence.
Yeah, I think, like you say, he's had maybe 10 days full training. I think, you know, he's obviously more comfortable there than Fabinho. He's actually done a brilliant job playing there. But I think natural centre-backs, if he's fit, you know, he plays alongside Van Dijk. Obviously that'll make his job a little bit easier playing against someone like him. But yeah, and then Fabinho going to midfield. If Wijnaldum's not fit, obviously I think Jordan Henderson maybe coming there. The front four pick themselves at the moment for me, and obviously the goalkeeper. And James Milner again, if Trent's not fit, then he'll come in at right back and do a job for the team, because obviously we've seen him come in either full back and do a good job for the side.
Superman at right back, and of course the man who we expect to make his 100th Premier League appearance, who's just signed that new long-term contract, Andy Robertson, at left back as well. What has been key, because of course Crystal Palace, the last team to beat Liverpool at Anfield, what seemed like 10 years ago, has been that fortress-like atmosphere at Anfield, something that Jurgen Klopp said in the very early days. If we're going to be successful, this place has to be really tough to come and get anything from.
No, he's right. I think there's a fear factor now for teams coming to Anfield. And that, I mean, the record behind us speaks for itself, doesn't it? You know, unbeaten in 31 games. Any team who comes in knows they're going to have to play well, defend well, with our attacking press going forward, and just the pace in the team. And I think as well, we've been a little bit more just picking the right moments when to go at teams. Rather last year, I think at time we were rushing to get forward. I think now we're picking the right passes in the final third rather than rushing passes. Now a little bit more calm in midfield, picking the pass, and you know the creativity's there, but it's just knowing when to do it. I think we've been better at it this season. I think at times last season it was rush, and sometimes you can feel the crowd wanting you to do that. I think this time a bit more patience within the squad and picking the better pass in the final third. And if we have to win 1-0, we do.
And 4 of them so far, those 1-0 wins this season. Key man at the moment, it seems ridiculous, doesn't it, to think that we were talking at one stage, or some people were talking about a crisis of confidence of some kind for Mo Salah. He's the key man at the moment, who's clicked into fifth gear and then some, hasn't he?
He is, and I think also as well, I think a lot of the players in the team are hitting form at the right time of the season, but he's been pivotal, hasn't he, again with his goals and his performances. And just the work rate as well. You know, we always talk about players, you know, ability and stuff, but he does now put a shift in for the side, and like you say, the goals are, you know, they're flying in again for him, and just every time he plays, I expect him to score. But it's just one of those things. I think Liverpool fans think that as well. But yeah, great talent, and I think Firmino behind him gives him licence. I think Firmino again's gone under the radar with his contribution. That, you know, I think Mo Salah will obviously know, and the manager will know. He's the link to that team scoring goals. I know he's got his goals himself of late as well, but Mo Salah doesn't score as many goals if he's not in that position just behind him creating. Are
we seeing Mo Salah turn into a classic centre forward now? We've seen his performance is more rounded, like a centre. The amount of endless runs he puts in, thankless tasks that you see centre forwards, great centre forwards doing.
I think when you're as good as he is, you can play anywhere in that front line, and he is clever. I think if you're a full-back for the opposition, you're absolutely buzzing. He's playing through the middle, so you don't have to come up against him. But like you say, when you're an intelligent player, I honestly believe that you can go out there and play anywhere. And I think we're reaping benefits of him playing through the middle, because his finishing is so good, and also he doesn't just stay there. He does go wide. He still does make them runs, you know, from the wide areas, and then obviously Firmino comes in from the middle. So they're very clever. You know, if you think about maybe Shaqiri, Firmino, Mo Salah and Mane, you know, they all interchange at times, and they're all clever enough to understand if somebody goes out of their position, they can fill in. And you know, when you've got that level of intelligence in your football, you can do that. 2
things before we finish. First of all, Andrew Robertson, who signs a new long-term contract this week. If there's a better story in football at the moment, I don't think we've seen it, have we? Because he's come from almost nothing, rejected by Celtic, and now people are talking about him as being one of Liverpool's best left-backs of all time.
Well, he's a shining example to any young kid who's trying to become a footballer and never to give up. And he's shown everyone again this season what it's all about. Everything, dedication, attitude, the way he plays the game, the willingness to win, and that contract is fully deserved. If anyone, you know, I think he's a fan's favourite.
Yeah.
I just think the fans love him, and they love his attitude. He gets up and down the football pitch. He wants to defend. He wants to attack. He's got everything, hasn't he, as a modern day footballer. For me, probably the best fullback in the Premier League at the moment, if not Europe.
And just finally, some great news where Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain is concerned. We worried about when we were going to see him again.
Yeah.
In his press conference today, Jurgen Klopp saying we're likely to see him before the end of the season, which is great. Out there working with the ball on the grass again.
Yeah, very important player for us last season. You know, got injured at a really unfortunate time for him. You know, missed some big games, but he's another player. If we can get him back before the end of the season, you know, we're pushing to try and get the title. He's a brilliant player to bring in. He's got a lot of energy, and just credit to him. The hard work that we probably don't see often enough off the field with the physios and the guys. That hard work's paying off, and like you say, if we can get him back training in the next couple of months and he can get some game time this season, absolutely amazing.
Well, brilliant. We hope that Liverpool continue to do what they do at Anfield, and of course the option to go, or the hope of going 7 points clear at the top of that Premier League table. Dom picked his team. Who do you think will play this weekend? Leave your comments below.